All right, I got one. This is the time that I mean, the title of this is going to sound really crazy, but it's not as crazy as it seems, but it would have been. So I almost got our wrestling team stuck in Mexico. So our high school football team was coached by pretty much like the entire the sheriff's department for our town. And I got the privilege of taking them to their wrestling tournament. And their wrestling tournament was in El Paso, Texas. And we got there like super late the first night, went and got our hotel, and we're just chilling, whatever. So the next day, it's time for me to take them to the high school where they're having their meet. So it's really crazy. Let's see. Oh, all right. So this would represent the high school. Okay, here's the high school. I'll do it this way. So high school, Mexico. It's like right there. There's literally just a chain link fence, literally splitting Mexico from this high school. So there's one way it like forked. So you go left into Mexico, and then you go right, and then it takes you around, and it takes you to the high school. Well, I was paying too much of attention to all these crazy children on board, even though there was only like 10 or 12 of them, all high school students, wrestlers, and they were eating the most weirdest stuff. I had one guy that was literally, he had a jar of peanut butter. It wasn't even crunchy peanut butter, this animal. He was just taking smooth peanut butter and was literally just eating it with a spoon. I had some other kid that he had a tuna can, literally opened it up and was just eating tuna straight out of the can. I had another kid that was eating some crazy beef jerky. I had there was some girl, I think she was eating cotton candy or something. I was like, what on earth are these children eating? And because I was paying too much attention, I almost took us on that left to go into Mexico. So if we would have gotten into that way, if we would have gone that way, we would have been detained in Mexico. We probably would have never got our school bus back. The sheriff's office would have had a field day trying to get their deputies back. I probably would have lost my CDL license. These children would have been scarred for life because they would have been detained in Mexico. None of us knew how to speak Spanish. So if I hadn't have seen the sign at the last second, and it was like one of those it was like almost a scene in a movie where you're like, oh crap, and you're doing this with the wheel. Dude, my bus was rocking like this because I turned the wheel so hard, and my bus was really big, and I had like understorage, so it made my bus look super huge. So when I went like this to turn the wheel, all my bus was doing was this. Even after we straightened out, we were doing this for like 5 minutes, and they're like, "Oh my gosh! Like, what are you trying to do? You trying to kill us or take us to Mexico?" I was like, "I probably should have just taken you to Mexico because we probably would have just almost died right there. Because if the bus would have tipped over even just a little bit more, we would have went off of the overpass that we were on." It was the most craziest like 5 minutes of my life. That was insane. I'm surprised we made it.